Undergrunt Podcast Network.
I want you to show right now how much you love God.
I want you to show us your tithe.
I want you to open up your hearts.
And open your wallets.
And open your purses.
And give it up. Praise the Lord.
Somebody's been talking about me. Talking about I've been riding around in a Cadillac.
If you love me and you want to give to me, then I should be in a Rolls Royce. Oh!
In a small little ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the psychedelic monk said, "I'll take two," and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth where they turned into babies. They were named Bob and Matt, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the thighs. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this and more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gym. But if you call right now and say, "Where's my whisk?" we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey, welcome to Bonus Disc!
I was about to say, I'm ready. Ready
Matt,
for
you're
it.
ready. I almost killed you last time. I will give Matt a stroke at some point on the show. Hello, welcome to Bonus Disc. I am one of the hosts, Bob Rose. Matt is cheering for that.
Yeah.
With me is Matt, co-host. We both assume equal responsibility, Jen,
Okay.
who is the guest today for the third time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you filled in twice, and
Yep.
you were an original guest once.
Great.
You're just about as late as you were the first time.
I wasn't late the first time, was I?
No, you were not late the first time.
No, but
not
someone
technically.
else was.
Technically, somebody else. Justin Henry, enemy of the show.
Enemy, right. Official enemy of the
Yes.
show, Justin Henry. Justin C. Henry. Find him and yell at him, please. Also, yeah, shout out. I want to give, before we start, I'm going to give a positive sorry to Sarah Flash Gorman because she rearranged her work schedule and then I had to cancel on her for this podcast. So, sorry. I fucked up. I do it a lot.
Good job.
Yeah, well,
She's unemployed anyway, isn't she?
no, she has
Oh.
a job. I said she rearranged her work schedule.
To
Fine.
not
What did
have
she?
a
Did I
job.
have a job, man?
I don't know.
Sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah. See you next time. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
We watched a movie that wasn't nearly as horrific as the last time.
she didn't miss anything.
No, she didn't miss anything. But the last time you were here, we probably watched the most offensive movie we've ever watched on this, which was Legion of Iron, which was on Netflix for all the children to
To
see.
summarize it in a few words, if you dug a hole with sand and just raped and murdered people in it and then filmed it for about an
Rape
hour and a half.
Thunder.
That's
Thunderdome.
yeah,
That's the movie.
It's terrible. It's literally it's
Horrific.
God, it was
It's vile.
it's vile. That's the best word for it.
It's terrible.
Grotesque. Anyway, so to take a step up the ladder, we watched a movie called Hellhole.
Look, it's like if you're in the bottom of the ocean, you can't just zip back to the top.
No, you gotta
have to
ease it.
decompress. So we watched a movie called Hellhole,
Ween.
where on the back of the box, the first couple words of the description were women bound and forced to something, and you're just like, all right, well,
I was like, fine.
This
We
is
know
like
what we're
it's
gonna
like
get
a
into.
genre, man. Back
it was
then,
not nearly as like gross as I thought it was going to be.
no. This movie did not reach the insane depths I thought it might.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had more shame than Legion of Iron, for sure.
Yeah, this was more like sexy. Does that make sense? There's
It's
a
like
lot
Red
of.
Shoe Diaries
No.
version of Legion of
Well,
Iron.
it wasn't really sexy, but you know what I mean. Like it was trying to be
Yeah,
sexy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think did anybody find it sexy? No.
I mean, the women were attractive. We all agreed on that.
Yeah,
But nothing about the movie was sexy, no.
all the men were hot too. So
Mm,
I mean, Robert Zadar did look pretty good for being Robert
this does
Zadar.
say it has a young Robert Zadar, and it has the woman who played Principal Vader in Rock and Roll High School Forever,
It's awesome.
and that's it. There's no other celebrities, right?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, and Kurt Schmelz and Burt
Oh, yeah.
Reynolds' son, who's also Andrew Dice Clay.
silky scar.
We'll get to that. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So the movie starts out with a black screen for about 3 minutes where you can't see anything except some jumbling.
You can see a piece of a wall and like a piece of a pipe, but otherwise, yeah, it was black.
It's so dark.
There was like a point where you're just like looking at all this shit, and then you hear a noise, and we were both like, all right, like something happened. What was it? We can't see shit.
Is it a POV dream? Is that what we're watching? Yeah.
Is this before or after all the jail cells?
Well, we're at the beginning.
No, the very
The
beginning.
house,
yeah.
remember?
No.
You don't remember the
remember
scene in the
seeing it.
house?
No, there was
Papers, Jen! They're so important. How did you forget? Come on.
The whole plot.
The whole plot of the movie is fucking papers. How could you have forgotten? Impossible.
Right.
Oh, the papers.
The papers.
The
Papers.
The papers. Which... Oh, God.
So there's something happening outside of a house. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
And then
Scuffling.
there's a woman, an elderly lady cooking food in a kitchen, and their daughter
You
comes
can
in.
see it.
Yes, you can
It's
see
lit.
this. It's
It's
lit.
a lit
It's a
kitchen.
lit kitchen.
Hold on.
Thank God.
They're talking. So then the woman is like stressed out, and her daughter's like, "You need to stop worrying about the papers."
It's like,
I
you
just
kill
can't
me,
believe-
man. The papers.
The papers. She's like, "You got to stop worrying about it. Everything will be fine in the morning." She says something like, "They won't know. Dr. McAvoy won't know. He won't notice until it's too late. Don't worry about it."
We'll take
And then
it to
she
the
keeps
police.
going, "You need to take a
Was-
shower." She was very
Like, you-
No,
concerned.
she's like, you really need to go take
really
that shower.
need to take a shower.
You are-
right now.
yes.
You're filthy, and I hate you.
And her daughter was
she was an Armed and Dangerous.
the attractive woman from Armed and Dangerous. That isn't Meg Ryan.
That isn't Meg. I was going to say,
Right, yeah.
that isn't Meg Ryan.
That's really all I know her from. But she needed a shower. She looked fucking gross.
Filthy.
So she goes up to take a shower. The mom keeps cooking, and that's when you figure out you get to see better of what's going on outside. And
Well, you
Andrew
see,
Dice Clay's Burt Reynolds
Well, you see-
baby, like, it's this guy, man.
Andrew Dice Reynolds smelts.
Yeah. He's got a weird,
Hyphenated.
fluffy pompadour, crazy sideburns, a Burt Reynolds
He's got
stash.
just like too many things.
Yeah, he's dressed like Andrew Dice Clay.
Fingerless, like barbed gloves.
Yes.
Right.
He's got the
a
red
lot of
scarf.
studs.
He's got
Yeah.
a red silk scarf around his neck.
He's too much
Biker
to take in
glasses.
right away.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. He's got a lot
He
going.
was
I said
wearing
he looked like he
sunglasses
walked
and
out of a-
It was really dark.
He
Yeah,
looked like every.
We couldn't see what was happening, and he's wearing sunglasses outside, trying to be stealthily.
Yeah.
Maybe they were shooting it from his perspective, like coming up to the house.
This is how he sees. It was like the Terminator,
Nothing.
except a person wearing sunglasses at night.
Like he's
Black.
been trying to get into this house since he needed sunglasses during the day.
Yeah. He's just feeling around. Like,
Finally.
yeah, yeah. Oh, the door.
So yeah, he's watching the lady cooking in the window, and then he like breaks through a sliding door. She hears it. It like starts to investigate.
He just walks in the kitchen. Remember? He just walks in. She goes, "Who
Oh,
are
yeah,
you?"
that's
right. Who
She
are
wasn't
you?
nearly as like surprised as just some crazy looking dude in her house.
Yes.
I think her reaction should have been much worse. She was just like, "Who are you?
Especially
Oh.
if you got the papers.
Oh, excuse me. Hello.
Where are the papers?"
So yeah, he's got a switchblade out.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
said, "What does he say?" He says, He's like, Dr. McAvoy wants those papers back or something. He says Dr. McAvoy and papers.
No, you're right.
Right.
He came for the papers.
So they
She's
start
like, "What
fighting.
papers?"
She's trying to lie
We're
about
like,
it.
what papers?
Yeah, and they still don't know. Look, we gotta address it now. We'll never know what these papers are. That's why we're laughing so hard. You never figure it out.
Ever.
They are just papers,
They're-
and it never seems to matter, but they are important.
They have got the most damning evidence. Who
Oh, it's someone who I'm not even sure we met or saw. Like,
It's like, who shot JFK and where's Jimmy Hoffa's body is like on these fucking papers.
who had these papers originally?
Who built the Sphinx? It's on these fucking papers. Like,
It makes no sense. So then they start fighting, And then he's strangling her. The whole time they're fighting, they're making all this noise. She's screaming. Her daughter is upstairs with this weird-ass music playing that doesn't sound loud. You know what I mean? Like,
We could
if you
barely
wanted-
hear it.
Yeah, you can barely hear it. And it's like, if you wanted to think that she can't hear what's going on downstairs, it should be like blaring. But it's like this weird music with this dumb tuba going like boop, boop, boop.
And she's kind of having her own little like flash dance, in her room, just a little bit.
I guess she's
Well,
like
drying
drying
her-
her hair.
Well, she's
in,
like on the ground and
exercise
exercising or
equipment.
something.
Oh, was
Yeah, she has leg warmers on, right?
That's
Yeah,
why
but
she
that
needs
was
to
the
fucking
thing.
take a
That was the thing
shower
in
all
the
the time.
80s.
She's
That
just
wasn't, like-
sweating constantly from working out.
She
That's all
she needed
does.
a lot of exercise. You can't be overweight in the 80s.
No, fuck no.
It's disgusting.
There wasn't enough food to be overweight in the 80s.
So she comes walking down the stairs just in time to see her mom's neck crack. It made a weird noise, didn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
And the guy was singing
He was strangling her
He's
with his
singing London
with his
with
silk
his scarf.
because
With
his name is
scarf.
Silk. We find
His
that
name is
out.
Silk.
Yeah, but not now. We're just like, who the fuck
No,
is
we
this
find
guy?
out way later that his name is Silk, but he kills her with a silk scarf.
Right.
I assume it was
While
Silk.
singing.
I assume it was Silk.
What was he singing?
London Bridge.
London Bridge.
So keep in mind that he does sing nursery rhymes and riddles and shit like that.
It doesn't.
Do keep it in mind because it doesn't.
We already said the Dice Clay thing, that he
Yeah.
talks like Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He is Andrew Dice Clay, but it was before Andrew Dice Clay was
Yeah.
a thing. It doesn't make any sense.
So Andrew Dice Clay saw Hellhole.
Because and there are times in the movie where he basically goes, "Oh,
yeah,
you
no,
know
he
what I
does.
mean?
He does.
It's insane."
Either that or he's based off Grease, and then, like you said, Dice
Did it the same thing.
did the same thing. Right.
I guess
There's
that's-
some. If
there's
there's not a
parallel
connection
thinking.
there, I'll be angry.
There's parallel thinking going on in the late '80s
So
to the mid to late
the
80s.
mid to late
Mid to
80s.
late.
So she finally listens. She goes downstairs, sees her mom getting strangled and killed,
She goes,
She-
"Mommy!"
and then runs out of the house.
Perfect.
It's really good. Runs out of the house past all the neighbors that could possibly help her.
Yeah, what the fuck was? Where did they live?
They lived in a suburban area.
There should have been a house right there.
There wasn't.
No.
She ran to a fucking construction zone.
She ran to the one house that literally had guaranteed no one in it.
because it was half built. It was like a frame with
Right.
some stairs in it.
And she wasn't being followed for a good 10 minutes. It was
yeah,
like,
okay, this is what I didn't understand.
and there was a
I
guy
can't
out.
remember.
She ran past a car with a guy.
sitting in it, and he
Sitting
goes,
in it.
"That fucking amateur" or something. He gets out of the car, and he doesn't chase her. He runs
Goes
into the house.
house.
And then you never see the other guy
No.
leave the house. And we were like, so she's not even being chased right now. Like, why are they playing intense music? And then all of a sudden, fucking Andrew Dice Clay shows up.
He fucking materializes.
He's in there in the upper level somehow,
She's just
with
there.
making zero noise.
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lights a cigarette
Oh.
with a match.
Right.
And this is the dog. God,
This scene's
This
kind of
woman-
amazing, though.
she's so fucking scared. She walks off a building, basically.
No, he walks her off a building without touching her.
But he's still like 3 feet from her. He's so far away
Like,
from her.
don't fall backwards off a building until somebody touches you. Like,
She
let
didn't
them
even look at the bed. She never even looked. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm running out of space.
No, no.
And he's getting closer. It was like, I'm just stepping backwards blindly, and I walk off a fucking building. It's insane.
And then she fell into a big pile of wood or whatever
And he
that
assumed
was.
she was dead.
But we find out
Well, after the title screen,
Hey,
which was
that-
all prison. It was shots of
Right.
prison.
it was shots of the prison.
And that made us all worried because it was sexy time stuff in the thing. And now it's all prison-y, and we're like, now it's another...
I thought it was going to be a
prison
Legion of
movie.
Iron
Another
2.
prison sex movie.
Ugh. It sort of is, but it isn't.
It kind of is.
It
It's a
kind of is.
sanitarium, but it's the same thing. What's the difference in an 80s movie?
Nothing.
You just put crazy people and criminals all in one big hole and then let them rot.
One big hellhole.
Yeah, one big
Yeah.
hellhole, and then
That's
you
what the
do
hellhole
surgery
is.
on them and poke them with sticks. There's no regulations or anything. It's just like, yeah, the doctors probably didn't even have degrees. From what I can tell from this movie, you could just walk into the sanitarium and be like, I work here now.
Yeah, as long as you were dressed like you worked there, people weren't going to question it.
No.
Even if you got in a fist. All right, we'll get to
We'll
it.
get to it. It's just, yeah.
It's insane. But, yeah, so she isn't dead, but she has amnesia. And we learn this from... Okay, so the guy in the car and the guy who killed the mom and Dr. McAvoy,
Right.
whose
Or at-
papers were
Who
stolen.
he's never in
I'm
it.
pretty
right?
sure he's,
No, he's-
the third guy on the council
Later in the
later
movie.
that comes to like he's the
The
guy
old
with the
guy?
gun.
Hmm.
What?
Remember later in the movie when there's like like they're inspecting?
Yeah.
One of those guys was McAvoy, I think.
Yes,
Or it was somebody that just looked old
exactly
and
like
exactly
him.
like him. Cause
I think it was him.
everything's a wide shot, so it's hard to see people's
Sure.
faces.
I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
All right. So they're
They're at a pool.
They're next to a pool, like talking.
And Danny Zuko looks crazy.
Dude, he looks awesome. He's like denim down. He looks like
He's wearing a Canadian tuxedo
he
now.
looks like he's in Thin Lizzy. It's awesome. His hair's all poofed out. He's all denim from head to toe. It's pretty dope. And he's got big
He's
ass
fashionable.
glasses on.
He's fashionable.
No, he is.
Yeah.
That's why he stood out and was great. He's a great.
He was
character.
amazing. What happened?
That's
so,
where they discussed that she has
You're-
amnesia.
and you were supposed to kill
You're
both of
supposed to kill
them,
her.
but you didn't. So we put her in the hospital.
Yeah. So this
They
movie's
put her
so
in the hospital,
They
right?
paid to have her in that hospital.
Well, okay. Here's the thing that I don't understand: did the papers have to do with the hospital? Because you know what I mean? Like the papers could have been about anything.
we don't know. Were the papers like?
I
Things
assume
he
the
was
papers
hiding-
were about the experiment, but if you're gonna,
But
Yeah.
Dr.
Why-
McAvoy had him, and he was on the inspection team.
The thing that the movie never explains is what before all this happened, what the connection with the mother and the daughter and the sanitarium were.
It was. Yeah.
Besides them knowing who Dr. McAvoy is and them having some kind of papers,
that he
the
needed
fact that
wanted
she
back.
haphazardly got amnesia and was then put in to the.
Oh yeah, these papers were gonna put Dr. McAvoy in prison for 10 years. That's what.
So
Sophie
instead,
said
she gets
earlier.
amnesia and they just put her in the insane asylum that the papers were going to open up.
I
the-
guess that's
the
what the papers were
crimes
doing.
I
of-
don't know. But did he own the sanitarium? I don't understand why she ended up there and
I'm-
everybody was in cahoots.
It wasn't. Were the paper? Man, oh god.
The papers,
the
man.
papers.
The
dude.
papers.
Just
What
the
are
papers
they?
were.
I mean, they could have been like stuff he was hiding about the hellhole from the
It has to
from the
just
inspection
be
committee.
stuff that proves the hellhole exists, which we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah, well, we don't
Because the
we'll get there
sanitarium is
eventually.
not the hellhole. There's a difference.
No, there's dude. The sanitarium is a hellhole.
It's a hellhole, but it's
just a bunch of loose women running around doing
loose
whatever
as
they
in
want.
they're not behind bars. Not
Yeah, like
okay.
they're just they apparently can be
But also
anywhere.
loose.
Well, they're
They're
also
probably-
loose because they're fucking each other all over the building.
Everybody.
So, all right, so we cut to Susan in the sanitarium, and Jen goes, "Of course, they're all hot. Like everyone's
and
hot."
they were
They were,
They were
all
every-
of them.
every
all
last
of these
one of
crazy
them.
Except-
women
except
were
for the
hot.
fat woman. eating.
the overweight woman that was eating a
Who
lot
was
of food.
barely overweight
but
at all.
She was just really short
the
compared
only
to all these
reason
like
she
super
got
tall
cast
like
is
model
to be
people.
the fat girl
In
at
an
the,
eating
in the
scene.
eating scene.
Yeah.
There
and
was
she was
no
not in
other
any other
reason.
scenes.
No, she was the one who slammed on the doors, going party.
Yeah, but Matt,
And-
did
and I
you
was
see
like,
her
why
in the
is this
shower
happening?
scenes?
Oh,
No.
hell no.
No.
Hell no. Nope, they wouldn't do that.
Kept
They
her
would-
covered up.
Of course they wouldn't. No.
Well, we'll get to it.
So they talk around the pool. Then we go to the sanitarium.
And she's in a wheelchair.
And she's
then-
like, "Why can't I get up?"
No, that's when the sexy doctor man comes in and she's like eyeballing him.
What was his name?
Oh, fuck.
Mm,
Paul,
Steven.
Steven, Brian.
White man doctor.
Yeah.
He was so generic; it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the wording here was weird because you thought she goes, "How come I can't get up?" And
How
it said,
come-
"Because you're not supposed to." The wording was, "How come I can't get up?" But it should have been, "Am I allowed to get up?" You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes,
Because we
yes.
thought at first, I thought she was.
She was paralyzed.
Yeah,
Why
she-
can't I get up? Because we put a psychic lock on your brain so your
Right,
legs don't
yeah.
work. Wait, what?
It's like she woke up and was like, "I feel the rules." You know, like.
Yeah, if no one had talked to her, she wouldn't
She would
know that
just
she
get up
needed to
and
be
walk
in the
away.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
Which she did right after
Right,
that.
Soon,
basically.
shortly
Right.
afterwards, yeah. Well, this
No
is when
reason to
he's
be
like,
in that
"You're going to be
wheelchair
under
at all."
my." You're like, he works here. The movie just makes you assume that everybody. You know what I mean? This
He
is
does
a weird
work
thing.
there, right?
Yeah, but he's not even dressed like he
I
works there at that time.
guess.
No, he looks like he's from Miami Vice, but it is a
Yes.
doctor's outer shirt. It's just white, so it looks like he's got his sleeves rolled up like a Miami Vice character.
He was wearing like a salmon shirt.
Yeah, salmon.
Salmon.
Yeah, which is very manly shirt.
Back down.
Now,
Always.
So yeah, they establish the fact that they like each other, sort of, or that there's
some other inmate or like, well, they're not inmates. It's like a ward.
Sanitarium.
Yeah.
It's a sanitarium.
One of the other like patients like wheels her at him, and that's when they talk. And then he's like, "You got to go talk to the doctor."
Lady.
Vader. We're gonna call her Vader.
Yeah,
Dr.
all right.
Vader. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go
I don't
talk to
remember her name.
Can't remember the character name. Dr. Vader, and that's when it cuts to Dr. Vader talking about, well, you have amnesia, and you're all blocked up, and then it's this weird conversation.
It might be my favorite moment of the movie, just
because they're talking, and all of a sudden she just goes, "I'm tired. You should go now."
You should, and then she
it's the
stands
middle of the
up,
fucking afternoon. She stands up and just stares out the window
until
like,
she's taken away. It's like, I'm tired of this.
I'm tired. You must go. And then it shows
Her character is as much of a mystery of the papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, why she was like that. How
We'll
she
get
got
to
there.
it, but it's like it does. What? It's like you could just make movies without even having a script. You know, like did somebody write this? You know what I mean? Like
I don't
It
know.
seemed just like you could have done better with improv. It was pretty bad.
no, I mean it's just like if you just had cameras in a sanitarium and said, "All right, what should we do now?" Well, how about some women run around this hallway and then they're in the bathtub?
Yeah, they definitely built the plot off of let's just have hot women.
Yeah, and then one of them goes
It's
nuts, and then we get
the like
Robert's-
horror movie.
we get Robert Zadar to pull her away and take her to the fucking surgery hole. Like what? It's, like did anyone like write the dialogue and stuff?
No, yeah, it's bad.
Then what even
What the
happens?
fuck? Where are we?
She's
there. Oh, that's when she's like outside, and she sits down on this bench. Oh, the sexy doctor man is like, he sits her down with somebody. He's like, "This is Audrey. She's nice." Like, and he sits her down with her and leaves her there. And that's when two other women get into a fight. Everyone is just constantly like getting into fights for no apparent reason.
The women you talking about
In every
on the
scene.
steps, right?
Yeah, it was all just
Yes,
excuses.
These two women are. I love this part because two women were running around like beating each other up.
No. This isn't the steps part.
Oh,
Oh, wait, yes, that happens. You're right.
That
happens
does, and then there's
first.
this other
That's
doctor
another guy.
who
you're
walks in and he's like smiling at the two women like having a cat fight that are these are patients fighting, and the other doctor just looks at him like and walks in.
Isn't this
It's like,
cute?
dude, what is your job? Like, they're fighting outside.
Yeah, they're just out loose. Those women were loose.
You just like you're obsessed with how loose everyone was.
It's just like, how did they end up in any room they're in? It's insane. Could you imagine? It's like a mouse infestation. You're like opening doors, like, oh, fuck, there's another crazy woman in here. It's insane. I was trying to get a mop, but the fucking closet has 8 sexy ass lunatics in it. What the fuck is this place? You know what I mean? It'd be a hell. The whole place is a hellhole as far as I'm concerned. If they work there. You're just like, what is this?
It's like
Madhouse.
constant anxiety. It's just
They're just everywhere.
and
Fighting
they're-
constantly.
or having sex,
Or fucking
and
each
doing
other.
drugs,
Or doing
They
drugs.
all have drugs, different kinds.
It's insane.
They don't talk about why that's happening at
It's
all.
not. No, it's not.
So wait, those two women fighting on the steps, like one of them bumps into Susan in the wheelchair, and that's when she gets out of the wheelchair because she starts fighting. And then you're like, what the hell's happening? And as soon as that happens, when he sits her down with the other woman, and as soon as he walks away, another fight breaks out. And you're like, Jesus Christ, what's happening in this place? And then while that fight's going on, Robert Zadar comes like running in and fucking knees this woman in the stomach. He's like, wham! And they drag her away. And you're like, what the fuck was that? And they drag her to a building down a hill, and they're all just watching.
Which is the
the
hellhole.
hellhole. You find out because
There's
Audrey.
the sanitarium, and there's another building called the hellhole.
But they're connected.
They
by
have
a tunnel or
we're gonna-
something.
You find out
yeah.
later in the movie there's a tunnel that connects them. I
Doesn't
guess
make any sense.
it's a tunnel made of boiler rooms.
It's a really long boiler
room. Yeah. Freddy has been in that boiler.
But
It's
like
like
they're dragging her away, and
perfect.
this is the best line in the movie because she's like, "Where did they taking her?" And the other woman goes, "That's the hellhole. When you go down there, you don't never come
You don't-
back."
You don't never come back.
And we were like, "Well, then
so
that's good. You
come
always
back?
come back then. Great.
Sweet. I can't wait.
I hope I go there sometime." I can tell you about it when I get back.
So
It was awesome.
I mean, there's so many questions
So
about.
that's when she's.
This has been operating for a very long time. Where if you get out of line, you disappear into the hellhole.
Yeah.
And nobody
Talks about it,
Talks-
deals
just-
with
In
it.
fact, the doctors, the sexy doctor man says to her,
Well,
do
first, No, hold on. Before
Okay,
that,
yeah.
though, the Andrew Dice Clay is working at the hospital as an orderly
No
or
one
a
asked any
custodian or
questions about
something.
him at all.
he's
He's
not
just
only
a-
working there, dude, he is
Living.
living there.
He lives
His
there.
room
It's
is
set
decked
up.
the
It's
fucked
set up.
out.
It's full of knives and smoke machines and blankets. But
It's like it looks like an orgy room. I bet
Yes.
he's probably had a cabinet
No,
full
it
with
looks,
lotion.
it looks like a goth teenager's room.
It
Is what it
does.
actually looks
There's
like.
like that
It's
giant, like-
candles and tapestries.
there had to be nunchucks in there.
Yeah.
and there was
There's
a
knives
whole
on a
wall,
board.
Yeah,
No one
that
knows why.
huge wall of knives.
You know he's got a lizard
I'm
tank
telling you,
somewhere in
there's
there.
lotions in there.
There's
It has
tons of
Scented lotions everywhere.
But he works there now, and he sneaks into her room at night, and he's like, "Where are the papers?" And she's like, "I don't know what you're saying." He's like, "Don't fuck with
Papers,
me."
and we're like, we
Where
don't know
the-
what you're saying.
Either.
Don't you remember me? Don't
Who
you
has the
remember me?
papers?
You know what I did? And she's like, "I don't know." And he starts like threatening her life if she doesn't get these papers.
Do you guys know what a MacGuffin is?
Yeah.
You know what a
It's the
MacGuffin is?
Yeah.
A MacGuffin is anything in a movie that all the characters are seeking. Like in
Oh.
Indiana Jones,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the Holy Grail, right?
Right.
But if you have a MacGuffin and you don't tell the audience what it is, you know what I mean? Like,
But it's not even really a MacGuffin because by the end it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't, but the first half of the movie is pretty
very
much
important.
centered on these papers.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, okay, they killed the mom that's in the house with the papers. They send the girl away from the house where presumably
the
the
house.
papers are. No one's in the house.
Check
Where
the
are
house.
the papers? Look at all the drawers.
Yeah, at this point they've mentioned that everyone
They
thinks
had-
the mom is just like on vacation or away and can't be
It's
reached.
so strange. Like,
But what a perfect opportunity
Here's the thing.
to look for
Look,
papers.
yeah,
did
go
the
into the
girl,
home.
like you said, Matt, she has amnesia. She's not insane. So shouldn't she be like, all right, you know who my mom is. So where do I live and what is her name? You know what I mean? Like, the hospital has information to
Yeah, does
tell
she have
her.
no other family or father?
I'm saying, like, they know who she is.
Did her
they
mother
tell
have
her
a
they know
sister?
who
No one
she
had
is.
fathers in the 80s either.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But the information of who she is not lost to the world. They're like, your mom is away. And she could be like, well, who's my mom?
Where's she away to? When's she coming back?
Where
Yeah.
did I live? Who am I? You obviously know.
I
Not
can't
just,
lie.
I'm in a fucking sanitarium.
I have no idea who I am. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's like I said before, as soon as she heard about the hellhole, she should have been like, I need to speak to a police officer
right
that is
now.
not associated with this hospital because
I would
Being
like.
held
they're
against my
dragging
will.
people into hell as
Right.
far as we can
I
tell.
realize I have amnesia, but I'm not fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm not
I would like to be someplace with no holes.
I just feel like it would have been a
hellholes fucking I don't want any kind of
It
hole.
would have been a much better, evil plan to go check the house as opposed to ask the girl with amnesia where something is before she got amnesia.
For the,
It's like,
you're right. I'm going to assume
we know she has amnesia.
they didn't. We're going to assume that they did check the house and found nothing. I have
Well, no,
to.
he says at one point, the guy says at the beach or the pool scene, he says something like, he's like, look, I had to get that body into the car and I didn't even have time to find anything. But you're
But
but
they could
even
go
still,
back
just
at
go
any
back.
time in the world.
Yeah,
no one's
she's in a.
there.
The mom is
the mom's
dead.
dead. She's in the
The
hospital.
authorities think she's gone, so she.
So you could deconstruct that house piece by piece and find those papers. You have all the time in the world.
God knows there's got to be a lot of papers too, so they can't just shove them anywhere, right? It's not like 2 pieces of paper. It's got to be like a box
Papers.
of papers or
Yeah.
something, you know?
They're
These
clearly
fucking papers,
labeled.
man. It's like all we're talking about.
So anyway, so now that's when he's like, "Give me the papers." That's when the sexy doctor man like bursts in and is like, they kind of fight. How does he get away from him?
He does. They both strong arm each other.
Oh yeah,
remember?
they do the
Yeah,
like.
they-
Like flex their arms
They
at
flex
each other.
near each other.
They just like
It was like
evenly flexed.
It was like Goofus first Gallant, you know?
it was real
It was like
weird
two
looking.
turkeys. Like.
It was a very strange standoff in a very tight hallway.
Wasn't
It
that
was-
tight? It wasn't as tight as it should have been for them to
Yeah.
know what they were doing.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
really up in each other's shit.
So he lets him go, and that's when he's talking to her, and she asks about the hellhole, and he's like, "Don't mention it to anyone.
But
Right.
Makes-
And he is a doctor who has been working here.
Is he
whole
a
time.
doctor?
Okay, he's a good man.
He's okay.
He's an inherently good guy,
yes.
and he knows that there is a place in which patients are taken to and never return. And it's bad enough not to even mention it because you might be taken there. What is he doing with his life?
I feel like it's sort of explained later ish.
Okay.
Because there's a point where he's the doctor guy calls after he goes into. So when that woman got drugged there, that's when he sneaks in and he watches Dr. Vader and the other the
Guy.
like mullet, the gray mullet doctor from the hospital
He
inject
looks-
this woman in
He
the
looks
neck.
like a skeleton that was like has a white man's skin over it. You know, he just looks gross.
Yeah, he's weird looking.
Yeah.
But
His
they
hair was
inject
nice.
this woman
He's got
in the
Ric Flair hair.
They inject
We
the
just
woman
call
they
him
just
Ric
drug
Flair.
away in the
Tiny
neck.
Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Thin Rick Flair.
Thin Ric Flair.
Thin Rick.
Cancer Rick.
Cancer
Flare. Rick Cancer Flare.
They inject her neck.
With this bullshit, and she screams a bunch, and then she goes, "No fear. No
No
fear."
fear.
We were like, what is happening? And then she starts...
Up until this point, I had the impression that they were just like doing like Dr. Mangala shit. You know what I mean? I thought they were like chopping people up and like sewing
I
them
thought it was
back
gonna be, like,
together.
Saw.
Making
Yeah.
superhumans or something.
Right, but it's not. It's just them.
No.
It's them literally just injecting people in the neck.
with shit until they find something
That works.
That makes what they want is a chemical lobotomy, where they can just
But it
inject
removes
somebody with something.
fear. It doesn't even. That's
There
not
was
what
no
a
reason for
lobotomy
that
is.
at all. Like her fearlessness didn't help in any way.
Well,
It
But
was
the
and
nothing.
also-
lobotomy is not about the loss of fear, though.
No, it's
It's about like
removing
ruining
the
your brain
frontal
so you
lobe.
stop being a
It's
maniac.
it's removing your personality, pretty much.
Yeah, removing your entire personality. So you're just catatonic.
Right. Which they don't.
But they don't explain why that's a benefit. Like, what are they using these people for after that? Nothing. There's nothing.
It's like just science. They gotta find stuff.
It's almost like if they figure it out.
Science is evil.
They're like, well, it's like they started out like, man, doing this job is hard. If only we could just give everybody a drug that would make them a vegetable. Like, well, there's that building.
We can start stuffing things
people
into them, right into their
See,
brains.
If they die, fuck them. We'll say it was an accident. That's pretty much what they say.
Kind of, yeah.
They explain everything away by accidents.
Cancer Flare is not happy about it.
No.
Because she's like, give me 5 more CCs. And
And he's like, that'll
I'm a
kill
doctor,
her.
goddammit.
and she's like, yeah, I'm doing it.
Dude, you're a doctor that's working in a place called Hellhole. I think you're fucking... Your integrity's a bit shot.
Fucked, man, yeah. Look, I'm trying to keep this place honest. This hellhole
This
needs
hellhole.
to be...
Look, I run a decent hellhole here, okay?
Just because it's a hellhole doesn't have to mean it's terrible, okay?
We live by a set of rules. It's like Fight Club. It's...
Nuts.
So yeah, she's like, get out of here if you
And he
can't handle it.
does.
He leaves, and she injects her again, and she goes crazy
kills
again
her.
and kills her.
She's like, don't die.
And she
'Cause
dies.
she thinks it'll work.
But this is where it all turns
Then-
around, though,
Fuck, this
because
movie
Dr.
is
Vader
creepy.
gets really close to her, grabs her shirt, and kisses her on the lips.
Yep.
Because we learn soon, right? It's like the scene or two after this that this has something to do with Dr. Vader's
Sexual depravity.
sexual depravity, which I'm pretty sure, because this is an 80s movie, is just the fact that she's a lesbian.
Yeah. That's
It's
all
not
I gathered
that-
from it.
Probably.
It has nothing to do with, like, I don't think, at first I thought it was like,
because
at first I
she
thought it
liked
was the
having
death,
dead people, right?
but then there was the scene we're going to get to with her and the other woman just at the pool doing drugs and
And she doesn't
Yeah.
even lobotomize that woman or
No,
anything.
she's just-
she's not afraid of being a lesbian. I don't think the movie thinks that anybody is afraid of lesbianism. Only because there's
She
scenes
seems-
of women
but
having
she could be
sex
a
everywhere. You know what I mean?
she could be ashamed
Well,
because she's
and
like
people
a
aren't
doctor.
like
and
scandalized. They're just like, you again?
I'm just
More
trying to
lesbian sex?
dude, I'm
in
just
the-
trying to figure out her
in the
character
hallway?
here because it doesn't seem that
What's her motivation? What's anyone's
they don't give
motivation
her any
in this
further
movie?
motivation for thinking dead people are hot or anything. You know, like
No, they don't even kill anybody else. No one else. They don't kill anybody else. Do
yeah,
they?
we see one
person
one
die.
person die on screen.
But all those other people are apparently crazy now? Who knows? There's a dungeon full of crazy people.
But we did hear them say like they do kill a lot of people doing this.
Yeah, she's killed a couple people.
So there's a lot of murders.
I don't think it's that many though.
probably
Because
made out
he's
with a lot of
mad as
corpses.
fuck. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd be that mad at 17 deaths.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, he'd just be
Around
like,
2 or
"Aw."
3, he'd be like, this
is getting
Yeah,
fucked.
we need to stop doing this. You know, this needs to stop happening.
And
I
at
don't think
17, he'd be
you know
like,
what I
put her
mean?
in the pile. You know?
Throw her in the stew. Like
You know, I just feel like if it was like the 17th dead person, he'd be like a little more unhinged, kind of like, I've been talking about this for a while, and nothing seems to be changing. You know what I mean? Like just freaking the fuck out, as opposed to like being like, no, we gotta stop.
And then she makes the quip to him because he says something about this is all
He's
about.
like, he's
This
like,
is all about
people
your
need
sexual-
to die for your sexual hang-ups or something.
and then she
Yeah.
said, "Well, at least I have sex," which makes you think that the two of them had
Or
a
in a
thing.
relationship and he's not giving it to her, but that's the only time they ever allude to that. I'm getting water.
Oh, don't drink those.
Why?
Those have been there for 2-3 years.
It's just water, though.
You can drink them. They're from like 3 mag stocks
Yeah,
in.
I'm not going to.
That is the hellhole of my fridge.
It's water. Water doesn't go bad.
Okay, drink them.
I have a glass of water. I don't need to drink it, but I'm not afraid
I'm sorry,
to drink it.
Jen. There's cups.
What are you keeping him in there for?
I just didn't take them out. Whatever.
It's water.
Okay, let's get back
That's
to
basically
the
the plot of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
why do you
It's
take
the
these
papers.
girls out?
It's the water.
It's just water.
We just forgot about him. I forgot to
So
take him
yeah,
out. We're
that
sorry.
woman dies. Sexy Doctor Man sees it through a grate in the wall. Then he makes a phone call. I don't understand how any of this worked. He makes a phone call to a woman in a weird room, like an old white lady with blonde hair.
It's in
in
an
a weird
SNL
room.
skit, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
looks
the room looked like it was just a fake wall behind
With a
her.
desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at a desk in a room. It's like
No.
absolutely not. But he's like, I went to Hellhole. I've seen it. It's real. You got to do something about it. And she's like,
This is like the
We'll
sanitarium
try.
inspector or something.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what
so
The
you-
local
weird.
sanitarium.
so like we were all like, who is he? Who is this? Who
Yeah,
is
I
he
don't-
talking?
I still don't really know who it was.
Yeah,
but
that woman, and then she's like, we'll be there tomorrow, and he's like, okay.
Will.
Hangs up the phone. Then it shows fucking who the hell Cancer Flare on the phone going, we got a problem. And I'm like, I still don't even understand what he was referencing. How would he have known about that phone call? I just don't.
Oh, right.
like,
How would he know about that? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I don't remember this part at all. I must have blacked out.
He calls the
Maybe we were eating.
the doctor woman,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Vader, and is like, we got a problem, and I'm just like, what, where, why, how do you know there's a problem?
I mean, you do have a problem, but it's not
But-
the one you think it is.
yeah,
It's like you should know about that problem
it's
yet.
a script problem, but fuck, what happens after that? He's like, we
I
got a
feel like
problem.
we're skipping a bunch of scenes with just women doing things.
Yeah, there's a shower scene that starts with a woman like rubbing her tits, like all soapy, and then
Then they
another.
fight again.
But hold on, another set of hands starts rubbing the
Her-
same woman's like body, like
Oh,
her
yeah.
torso, but you never see
then
the
it
other
pans
person.
over,
and it just
it's
cuts
another
to
scene where a
a
woman
room.
hits on a woman, and then another woman comes in
Dude.
and is like, "That's my bitch."
But all this is happening in
No,
a
we
room
forgot the
full of naked women rubbing their bodies like they're being filmed for a porno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even the women in the background are like, it's just like, what the hell is this place?
So remember when
Oh, we
Andrew
did
Dice Clay's
we forgot-
room?
yeah, we skipped the scene in his
We see
room.
that he's sleeping in the sanitarium with that room,
With
and
his
then
crazy-
one of his
one of the
girlfriends,
inmates or patients
patients is
who
his
comes in
girlfriend.
and her shirt is like open.
yeah,
Her tits are just basically out.
yeah,
And then he starts
and
taking
she calls him
photos of her.
Daddy.
Daddy. And right. That's right. There's the daddy
And she
thing.
wears that like gold chain around her waist.
Yeah,
You're like, this is an insane asylum,
This is
right?
the sanitary
there's
professional.
no way they would let you wear that into the showers.
hell
There's
no.
just
No way. And
But yeah, they take photos. He takes photos of her. Then they sort of like.
then he nibbles on her boob, sort
We're
of.
not really
He
sure
just
if they were
hovers
having
It's
above
a
it.
sex.
long conversation where there's like a boob rubbing
She gives
happening.
a fuckload of exposition with a titty out. It's amazing.
That somehow doesn't really help the plot along at all. I don't
Kinda,
even know what
no,
the fuck she
not
was
really.
talking about.
But it's kind of ingenious if you're making this kind of movie, and like, how do we give all the exposition while somebody's breasts need to be out? So they just realize that it's not an exposition scene. Yeah, what did she say to him though?
I can't remember something. I think it's something about.
Because he doesn't know about the hellhole.
No, he has no idea about.
So she
Hellhole.
tells him about the hellhole. Like, you get dragged there, you disappear. Because he doesn't care about the hellhole. He's trying to find the papers.
Yeah.
He's trying to find the amnesia information
Christ.
to find the papers.
But he tells her to go get information.
How did he get a
on
job? I
somebody.
guess the doctor just gave him a job. He's like
Yeah,
an
the doc-
unqualified hitman working at a sanitarium who's been given a job by somebody so he can pry information from an amnesiac. Why not just
His interview's like, I like
Let me ask
crazy
you this.
bitches. Oh.
Why not just take the amnesia girl to her own house and hold her captive there and grill
Right.
her
until she remembers. Something.
until she remembers something, instead of putting her in an insane asylum that complicated everything else, because the insane asylum happens to have a hellhole.
Well, we already answered the whole movie's problem, which is just searching the house again. You know what I mean?
God,
All they
it
had to
makes
do was
so
go
little
back to the
sense.
house. All they had to do was go back
Their
to the house.
plan is so nothing. Like, no, instead we're going to put her in an insane asylum. We're going to give you a job there, to which you're going to be so involved, you're going to decorate a room with all your belongings and start a love affair with several patients.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Bob, it's just easier that way. It's just
it's
easier.
amazing. The plan is so haphazard.
Yeah. And I'll just have.
He's not even spending all of his time with the main girl.
No, he's actually
He's
doing
just
work.
doing stuff.
Yeah, he's doing
Does-
orderly shit.
Does he work?
That's what I'm saying. No, is everyone else there like, we hate this fucker? He's not doing anything. He's walking
know,
around
right?
going like, looking at tits and
I'm pretty sure
oh,
he fucked a
cigarettes.
bunch of people. He's walking around like he fucked a couple of these
he's not,
patients.
get him, put a broom in his hand or something. Get him to do something.
God, what if it just cascade? Like everything just
Like,
fell
after
apart.
you
He
see
started
that
fucking.
guy fucking threatening a patient, don't you think it's time to maybe talk to the boss about him?
Why is he working
Why
here?
is he in there threatening a girl at night?
Who are
So-
these people?
All right, so sexy Dr. Manning called that woman. This is where I'm sort of going to try to make sense of any of this. She's like, I can't really do anything.
It's like everyone was so high in the movie they didn't know
dude,
even their own plan. Just like
whatever. Just snort
The
some more
papers
meth.
are about a sanitarium, right? Let's put her in there.
I don't know.
Like
What's
no one
going on.
thought about it.
But here we go. This is where I'm going to try to explain something, but I think it's going to make it more confusing. Where, all right, so she didn't say we'll be there tomorrow. She said meet me tomorrow, and we'll try to like make a plan to figure out where the hellhole is. He goes and he meets with the bad guy, the Dr. McAvoy guy, and this woman that he called on the phone. And he's like, I know where the hellhole is. Let's go fucking get it. And they're like, we got paperwork, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, this is bullshit. We got to get Susan out.
I love her.
That's when
After
Dr.
a day.
Dr. McAvoy says, I don't want him on the case anymore. To which we were like,
The case.
he's like a private investigator who doesn't really work there either, I don't think. So that's why.
Right, I forgot.
Yeah, that's why he's not like, dude, this guy just threatened a person and he fucked a couple people. Like, why is he working here?
Also, people
Because
are
I'm-
literally disappearing
He
into this
can't turn
fucking
that
hole.
spotlight anywhere near him because he also doesn't actually work there, but is there every day talking to
The
people.
other orderlies have to be like, what is going on?
Like, do I work here? Am I crazy?
We saw like two nurses. One gets the shit beat out of her. The other one is the dumbest human being alive, standing next to an elevator, doesn't realize that a ton of shit is happening. There's no one that works here that isn't like undercover. That's everyone's loose.
Nobody
that's
literally
what's
works
on the
there.
Every other person that works there is probably on another case.
Everyone's either undercover, actually crazy, or a villain of some sort that needs to stay under the radar. So, like, Dude,
There's
their finances are a wreck. Nobody's paying attention to anything in that place.
The only two people who work are the two
papers
doctors
just
that
say, we don't know how to run a sanitarium.
don't tell
Get the
anybody.
papers.
That's a signed confession from everybody that works there.
We don't work here, signed us.
The only two people that do work there and are knowledgeable of it are the two people that are killing people.
Yeah.
Well,
It's awesome. I don't know. They really found a nice little hole for themselves.
The whole place is a hellhole. It's not just...
It's crazy. Dude, there's a fight in almost every scene. You know what I mean? Like, almost every scene has a crazy person attacking another crazy person and an orderly, like, diving from off screen to tackle them.
I don't know where we are, but the scene in the cafeteria when the religious woman just goes nuts.
Fuck.
That had nothing to do with the
happened
movie.
At some point. Yeah,
It was just to show us how they kill people.
Yeah.
Or that they keep
Oh,
doing
she
it.
was the...
she was the crazy one that they did the experiment on.
Yeah.
To show
We just
us
skipped
that
that part.
they do lobotomies.
Because it was whatever.
Didn't make any sense.
Dude, we're skipping all over the place. It's so hard. It's so hard to tell what's happening. There's so many plot lines, and who doesn't
They
know
never
about where.
It's convoluted beyond reason.
It's
it's so
fucking crazy.
convoluted. It's
So, all right, we're at the point now where
They're going to investigate.
Susan, yes, they're going to show up, and that night is when Susan escapes from her room and ends up just like going all the
a
way to
common
the
occurrence
hellhole.
here.
She just makes her way all the way to the hellhole. She goes through all those tunnels.
Yeah, there's a sleeping
There's a
guard,
point where
the keys are in the
yeah,
thing.
Robert Zadar
She
almost finds her
stumbles
for a second.
into the hellhole, basically.
Yeah, she gets all the way the fuck down
She
there.
doesn't even know why she's anywhere.
I assume she was trying to leave the building.
That's what I
She kept
assumed.
going down things. Like, there's a point where, like, she's going down a spiral metal staircase
It's
where
like-
there's nothing but steam
And pipes.
and pipes. Like,
you-
you're not. There's not
She's
an
just
exit.
like, one more corner won't hurt. Let's just
And then I'll be
keep going.
free.
It's unbelievable. You're walking. Right
Honestly,
into
if
hell.
you can't break out of this sanitarium, you should be in it. Because
As
there's
far as,
nobody
like-
guarding anything. It's the fucking madhouse.
get outside at any moment. There's so many scenes where people are just in places they
fact
should
that-
never be.
The fact that Danny Zuko, or whatever his name is, we've given him 1,000 names.
Yeah,
Andrew Dice Clay isn't just following her at all times, grilling her about where these papers are. Like,
Yeah, why?
dude, he's having sex with people while she's just roaming. How bad at his shit job is he? The only thing he's good at is killing people, and he's not that good at that.
He shouldn't
Silk.
be doing this.
His name was
Damn.
Silk. Where are we?
I don't know.
God.
Oh, she gets all the way down there. Fuck, man.
So much happens down there, and
Something scared her, and then it shows her wake up on the table, and we were all like, was she so... Oh, she finds a dead body,
right,
and she like
finds-
screams,
right.
and it goes to black, but
But
then
it
when
wasn't
it comes
dead.
back...
Was she dead? She was still alive.
No, it was
she
the
dead.
girl who died. That was the girl she
Oh.
kissed. The Dr. Vader
She was
kiss.
dead.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a corpse,
Oh.
which they're storing just loosely in a hallway.
But
Which
she-
you think if they're doing that with all these other people they're killing, it's gonna stink like fucking all hell. God, this place is a mess.
It's not good. I mean, who's disposing of these bodies?
Is there a furnace?
There's no real orderlies at work here. Everybody's a spy or a detective. Fucking double agents. Who the fuck knows? I hate to see what their bathrooms look like.
Yeah,
I was
Jesus.
thinking that. Who's cleaning anything in this place?
All the janitors are like living in the air ducts trying to find other papers.
Microfilm.
They're just trying to get out.
Microfiches hidden in body parts or something. I don't know. There's a million movies that can be made about this building that this hellhole took place in.
Oh,
all right,
man.
so anyway,
It's not actually a hole.
No,
not
it's a
actually
building. It's a
underground.
basement
It's a basement. It's a hell basement.
with a bunch of prison cells.
Hell
And-
auxiliary building.
Yeah, it looks like a power station. It's like where a janitor sleeps.
All right. So the next,
She wakes up on the table and it doesn't explain why she
in
got
the
caught.
hellhole, but
What was she doing down there?
But what's his name is
Walking
there?
around.
Andrew Dice Clay is like being like, you remember who I am now? And she's like, yeah, you were the guy in my room. And he's like, we're getting somewhere. Now tell me where the papers are. And you're like,
So he found the hellhole based on the woman that he was having sex with, telling him.
yeah.
Yes.
And then
So
happened
we gotta
to run
assume that
into-
he was just searching around,
Did she
bumped
just
into
pass
her,
out?
and knocked her out, and then tied her. I guess.
And then he starts God. He starts talking to her, and that's when Dr. Vader shows up and like, who are you? And he's like,
What's everyone doing
bitch,
here?
don't worry about who I am.
Christ, you're supposed to be on top of all this. You're not. No one is
It's like,
on
isn't
top
this
of
movie
anything.
halfway over? And you guys are like, who are you to each other?
You're literally bumping into each other.
It's nuts. Like I said, it's nuts. It's the whole place. This is happening everywhere all the time. So goes like, oh, sorry, I was just.
Man, this is my favorite part of this podcast is when you break something down that makes no sense.
Yeah.
This makes I thought it was okay.
No, it makes literally no
makes
sense.
way less sense than I realized.
It makes me feel way better about myself.
That's why I
Yeah.
said this is when the papers don't matter at a point because now we're just like, oh, there's this hellhole thing. Let's figure out what's going on here.
Nothing to do with it.
It's over now. Like,
You could have had a story where she just got amnesia somehow in a car accident and got put in this place, and then there's the hellhole that she just has to evade.
yeah,
Right.
That could
And
be a
then-
movie. And then instead you're adding
this whole the papers
the
thing. It's like, why? Why did you add this? Like I said, we'll get to it. At the end of this is outrageous.
yeah.
But all right. Fuck.
So she
she's like, what are you doing down here? He's like, I'll do whatever I want, bitch. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And he just, the Andrew Dice Clay's like, oh, I'm out of here. What's up? And walks away. And I'm just standing there going like, don't you murder people? What? You don't know who he is. He's in your secret thing you're murdering people about to keep hidden, apparently.
Not to mention-
And this weirdo guy just goes, hey, what's up? I was torturing somebody down here, but it's cool. I'll leave. No bigs.
None of this torture stuff.
By the way, I
it was cool
work
to
here.
use. Yeah.
What? She's the boss. It's crazy.
Not to mention that being the boss, hold on a sec. Hold on. She would have been notified of new employees because she is the boss of the sanitarium, right?
Especially if you were trying to keep a hellhole from everybody.
Yeah.
So you
You'd
would
wanna
know this guy is insane looking and he's working there now. And then she walks in like, who are all of you?
I see you found my hellhole.
Like, you would remember this fucking dude and that he works. Then you'd be like, why is this guy that's now working here looking for hellholes?
He threatened her, and then she threatened him back. And it's like, but
You
you're
all
his boss as far as you know. Why? What the fuck are you doing?
Wait a minute. I mean, he changed into his silky clothes.
No, he was still in the
He was in the
regular-
orderly
He was in the
uniform.
orderly uniform.
So he's like, fuck you.
She takes it. That's double crazy. She's his boss, and he's in her secret fucking torture place.
Kill him.
Just jab
You'd
something right in his
you'd be in
face.
big trouble tomorrow, mister.
Unbelievable. I'm docking your pay. What?
Like, why are you... Because as far as she's concerned, too, there's nothing special about June.
Susan.
Susan. Whatever her name is. I don't fucking know. As far as Vader is concerned, there's nothing special about June, right? She doesn't know the amnesia thing, right?
Yes, she was the doctor at the beginning who was like, I'm tired. So, yes, she knows.
Yeah.
She
She's
came
in
to
on
see
it?
her. She works at the thing. What do you mean? She's met
She
Susan.
No. She
Dr.
doesn't know
Vader
about...
has
No,
met Susan.
sorry. Dr.
She
Vader
doesn't know
doesn't know
anything
anything
about
about
the
the papers. That's what I'm saying.
She knows
So to
nothing about
her,
the
she's just an amnesiac patient.
Yeah.
But the whole plot of the papers is completely...
That's why I said it falls apart right here. Where now it just matters that Dr. Vader has a hellhole.
That's what I'm saying. So she should be like, get all these people down here and kill them. Just like, because there's something going. I don't even want to figure it out. Just murder them. Like,
It's probably gonna fuck with my shit.
So
I don't want that.
He's looking for something from her. I just kill him.
She doesn't. It's nuts.
Wow, it makes so little sense.
Yeah. So now from this point, Susan's in the hellhole.
Hurts.
And God,
How does she get out of there?
she's in the hellhole. That's when they come to do the inspection.
Oh, right. They have a
Robert Zadar kidnaps Sexy Doctor Man, locks him in a room so he can't show them directly to
what the hellhole is.
They got to try to find it.
The woman who was in the Saturday Night Live sketch, a fat guy, and Doctor. Isn't it the
McAvoy or whatever the bad
guy?
guy?
It was Doctor Man because you don't think it was.
I don't know.
I
I
think
have no
it
idea.
was.
It just looked like an old dude that looked similar.
I thought it was the same guy.
I didn't realize that was him at the meeting with the.
It has to be the same guy for the end. It has to be the same guy.
All right,
Okay.
I'm just,
dude.
we'll
I am
get there,
so
brother.
lost with that.
Yeah.
All I
think-
know is that it doesn't really matter because they can't show the fat guy and the woman inspectors. They can't let
Yeah, they
them see the
can't see
hellhole,
it,
so it
yeah.
doesn't matter if he is or is not McAvoy.
So yeah, so the woman is like hell bent on finding it, and they keep pressing farther and farther
They're
into
like, let's
the
go look at the
bowels.
sanitarium. She's like, no, I want to see that building.
I want to see that one over there. And
Yeah.
then they go in the basement, and they keep going deeper and deeper until the fat guy's like, I insist that we are done.
Honestly,
with
I
this.
thought they were just
It's
going to kill
hot.
them.
Yeah, but
And then say, like, inmates did it or something. You know what I mean? Like,
this is what all right. This is why I'm gonna scream my head off. Like, McAvoy paid Andrew Dice Clay to get these papers that had something to do with him going to prison for something
or he could
that
go to prison
clearly
for it.
was related to the sanitarium.
Not clearly.
Jen, it has to be.
It's just like-
the papers have to do with the hellhole. I know it seems
Right?
dumb, but it just would be like whoever made this movie has got to have at least been
But
like,
they can't, this is what I'm saying. Like right there at that point where that woman's like, "We got to find this hellhole." Dr. Vader's obviously like, "Well, this is fucked." But Dr. McAvoy,
hold on, you're right. Oh my god, I see what you're saying.
also,
Because if
in
the
some
papers
degree
have to do with the
hellhole,
hellhole,
he
then
should be
Dr.
like, "Oh,
McAvoy
fuck."
and Dr. Vader should be fully aware of what they're both doing.
but they don't. Because
Oh my God,
it's yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Jesus
just like
Christ.
what that
That's
seems
why I thought
common
it wasn't
sense.
him because I was like, "There's no way."
But it is. It has to be him. It is him.
Can we Google the plot of this movie, please? Because I have no idea where the fuck we are.
I mean,
who would-
they don't find it. Sexy Doctor Man breaks out.
The inspectors leave.
Inspectors leave. He breaks out of his room. He breaks into the hellhole.
She's in a
Knocks
padded
out a
room.
guard.
She's in a padded room.
Yeah, she's in a
Yeah.
padded room. He knocks out the guard, goes in her room, gives her a nurse's outfit.
And then he's like, "Stay here."
And then he goes, "Don't leave this room."
It's like, I broke in to save you. Now stay here while I go do something else down the hallway. Like, you could have done that first, motherfucker. Like, don't get my hopes up. Or I could come with you.
Oh, this is also concurrently while Dr. Vader is finding two inmates having sex in a like a storage closet while high on drugs.
They're
Glue.
sniffing glue.
Sniffing glue.
They're sniffing glue, and she
Touching each other's breasts or whatever.
lets one of them go, and then takes the other one to fuck in a hot tub
In a kimono.
while they do better drugs. Where she's like, "These are better drugs. Here, have some real drugs."
Which, once again, she's able to have normal sex. Doesn't have to kill
Yeah,
someone.
she didn't force the
Yeah,
girl. I don't
no.
think unless the drugs where she was giving her a roofie or something, or giving her some kind of something.
But they didn't
to-
show that.
No,
don't
but
show
they
that.
no, but then like she was all weird. She gave her the drugs to drink, and then she was like, "Oh, now I will have sex with you." You don't think the drugs had anything to do with that?
Maybe.
I don't know.
It just seemed like an unremarkable scene where she was just doing her day to day. Like, she always finds an inmate to have sex with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it. I was just like, everyone here just seems to be having sex all the time, so this is just more sex.
And she's just she doesn't think anything's really wrong when it's all everything's like the white guy is running around.
Yeah, he's like sneaking in her office looking for
Right, she doesn't
some
know
other
anything's happening
form
out of the norm.
papers.
Right.
He's looking for paper. You know what would be really funny right here? If the papers white sexy doctor man was looking for are the papers that were stolen and lost in Susan's mother's house. Because he's rooting through all that stuff and he doesn't come out with anything.
Yeah, what was he looking for?
Proof of the hellhole?
He was looking for the papers, man.
Was he looking for the papers?
I'm joking. That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know.
He
Like,
was looking
he didn't
for
find
the other
anything in there.
papers.
He didn't find anything in
But
there.
he had to make that stop.
He needed to do it.
My assumption is he was just looking for proof of the hellhole stuff. The
It
papers
should have
from
been any piece of paper in that room.
the Susan papers.
Okay, so if there's already papers
It's gotta
somewhere
be
that
awesome if there was-
prove that they're doing lobotomies in the basement, then what are the papers
That
that they're
stole at the
looking
beginning.
for? If the papers are in... If the papers about the hellhole are in the hospital, and they are because she burns them later, right? She throws
Yeah.
all those papers... Okay,
That's
so...
1 hour.
Fuck. Okay, so... The papers about the experiments are in the hospital.
Yes.
So what the fuck is on the papers that
Dr.
they're
McAvoy
looking
is
for
looking-
if it's not about the experiments that are doing in the hellhole? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that...
What the fuck is on the papers?
Who knows? We'll never know. I don't know what happens now.
It doesn't seem like he's really doing anything that bad. It seems like if anybody's got papers on him, it would be Dr. Vader. Because she's down there, you know, raping women, basically.
As soon as,
lobotomizing
hold
them.
on. As soon as the happy white doctor guy, who's an undercover cop,
Is he?
I guess.
detective,
Some sort
as
of
soon as he knew the
investigation.
hellhole existed, he should have just left.
Got real police.
Got real
Yes.
police to show up and just fucking bust that place wide open.
Right.
Yeah.
Why does he not?
The papers.
Selfish. I don't know. Why didn't the bad guys go back to the house and look a second time? Like, why anything? Why is she
Why?
murdering people if she's gonna fuck all the
No
inmates
one
she
has
wants?
motivations in this at all.
Are you okay?
Dude, I'm.
Bob!
It's really
This is a hard one, man.
It's really hard to fucking figure out.
The motivations are so loose.
They're not even loose, they're
Everything's
just
loose.
not present. It's
You could literally just have people having sex in a sanitarium with no plot and it'd be fine. It would make.
Basically, it was like a softcore porn that they were just like, no, we need to really make this into something.
Let's
of
re-edit it
substance.
into a mystery.
Right.
For the
What-
audience.
So wait, what happens right here? He gives her the nurse outfit. She gets out of the room on her own, wanders around, gets to the elevator to leave. That's when another crazy person
Some more
flips
fighting.
out, and the orderlies like are tackling her, knocks out that old lady. The crazy woman knocks out the old woman nurse. And the guy's like, "Nurse, please help me get the syringe." And she's like ignoring it because she's trying to escape.
She
and
gets
then
in the elevator.
The elevator doors open. It's Dr. Vader, and she just grabs her by the throat and like
Pulls her in.
pulls her in and disappears, which is awesome for the guy on the floor like wrestling with a lunatic who's like, "Oh, my boss just I needed help," and my boss just grabs someone by the
That
throat. and
guy was the
disappeared.
only guy working there who was legit fucking orderly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, this is whole
He's been trying to do his job so hard and it's just been a mess. He's gonna get murdered by.
I'm doing it. I'm booking 2 weeks in tomorrow. Finally.
So, I'm not taking
can't keep
shit
doing this.
anymore, man.
Nobody
This is
here
too
does
much.
anything. Every day, is someone trying to bite my head off,
All they're doing is fucking
fighting and sniffing
doing
glue.
drugs. And,
steal all the drugs out of the.
Who's bringing all these drugs in? If I were him, I'd be like, where is this entire thing of cocaine coming from?
yeah, they had like a lot of cocaine,
Yes,
like a
there's
whole
there's the
Altoids
mud
box
fucking,
full of
the mud
cocaine.
fucking,
which we passed a long
Yeah.
time ago. But
Because there's no point.
there's no
I mean,
point to it. But it was like just a little
It was like I don't know. It must have been like a
flask, a flask.
No,
It
no,
was
it
like
was
an
like
Altoids box full of
An
cocaine.
Al-
yeah, but
Altoids
it was
box.
the
Bigger.
80s,
It was
so
bigger.
It was probably like chewing tobacco or something. I don't know.
It was like
It
two
was a
Altoids
big-
boxes. I'd
yeah,
say.
it was
Yeah.
a big tin can full of what he said it was crystal meth. or
Oh,
something.
crystal meth. That's right.
He was like, "Woo, this is pure crystal meth," and then he tries to fuck a woman in mud, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they had a mud room at the sanitarium. This awful sanitarium. They're just like, nah, we'll put it in the spa room. We'll go ahead with it. Put some mud in there. A little mud
You gotta
sauna.
balance it out. If you're murdering people in the basement, you should do something
Give 'em a
really
little
nice.
relaxation.
You know.
Where are we?
Okay. I don't know. I was about to ask you about what happened to Sexy Doctor Man after that, because the girl, Susan, Robert Zadar, like, puts her on the table and puts her in the room with all the lunatics, where they're, like, reaching through the grates and, like, ripping at her clothes and stuff. That, oh my God.
This is hard.
Yeah, he has her on the gurney, and he pushes her around, teasing her with that.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening simultaneously?
We should have scrapped this and just watched Hector the dog.
Hector the dog.
It'd be way easier to
At least
describe.
I'd be like,
I'm sure.
well, someone fucked the dog.
Yeah.
I understand why they fucked the dog. And at the end of it, someone came. Thank God.
The plot will be coherent.
Yeah. Easy to follow.
Hold on.
So what happens after that? She's in the nurse uniform. She's trying to escape. She gets pulled by Dr. Vader. Dr. Vader takes her down.
Next thing, that's like it's
To the
wakes her up
hellhole.
on the
Okay.
table again.
Okay.
A lot of stuff is so repetitory. That's why it gets so easily lost.
Repetitory?
Yeah.
Repetitive.
Sorry.
I don't know. I kind of like that word.
Repetitory.
Repetitory. It's like predatory.
Yeah. Repredatory. Repredatory.
Repredatory.
Threateningly repetitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, back and forth, hellhole, not hellhole room. Sex,
So they're back in the
drugs.
hellhole.
Back in the hellhole. This is the last time we're in the hellhole.
Yes. She's not strapped down. She's on the floor. Remember?
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna fucking drug you up, so I'm gonna make your brain boil,
Yeah.
and you're gonna hear it. You're gonna listen to your own brain boil.
Okay.
What was that one line that
Then-
she said that was really fucking...
Then,
Wait, remember?
I wish you were
I
stillborn,
wish you were
Oh my
stillborn.
God.
which is
forgot
a
about
weird
that.
insult at the moment. Isn't the,
Oh wait. Okay.
isn't the, yeah? I was gonna say it's when Dice Clay breaks in with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
and he's
is
in his outfit.
strapped to a table. She is strapped to a table because she's like, I'm gonna inject you with this shit, but then Andrew Dice Clay like gets her instead.
She's on the ground. Vader jumps on her on the
Fuck
ground,
me.
and then Silky jumps on top of Vader.
That's it, and he's strangling her.
with the silk,
yeah.
and she's like, "Oh my God, you killed my mom." Isn't that?
Yeah.
That's
that
because
what
she
it
looks like-
remembers.
yeah.
Because it looks like
Yeah.
when he killed her
Right,
mom.
right.
Yeah, she gets to yell mommy again, which I liked.
Yeah.
You gotta assume at some point that Susan sat around a table with her friends and recounted everything that happened to her, and been like, "Well, why did they? They had similar conversations to what we're having. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
it doesn't make any sense
Well,
why
that's
they
'cause
would
right
do this.
here.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is where I was saying it has to be Dr. McAvoy, the same guy, because that's when. So Dr. Vader's on the ground. Silky's
strangling her.
about to kill. He's finally going to kill her because she remembers stuff, which doesn't make any sense
Because he doesn't know where the papers are.
He still doesn't have the papers.
Right.
That's when Dr. McAvoy comes in with a gun, and he's like, you can't kill her. Because he still needs those papers. And he threatens Silk with
Why
the
does
gun.
Andrew Dice Clay want to all of a sudden kill? It doesn't.
I don't understand this
It's just
at
fucking
all.
he's still on crystal meth, I guess.
No, this is the point where there's three bad guys in the same room, all
fighting
trying
each
to
other.
fighting each other over this girl, and none of them
realize
well,
it that much.
I guess, yeah, McAvoy and Andrew Dice Clay. I don't know. It's just crazy, dude. That scene doesn't make any sense. Because then Dice kills McAvoy and Vader absconds with Susan. Right?
No. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wait, when does Andrew Dice Clay get killed? He gets killed by that woman, and then who's he fighting with when he gets killed in the back? Is he fighting with Susan, or is he fighting with Sexy Dr. Man?
Okay. So that shit just happened.
This is
It's terrible. We're like right there, though.
No.
We're right there.
Dr.
I
Vader
feel bad
takes,
for whoever's listening to this.
Dr. Vader takes Susan into the office where fucking Cancer Flare is. This is insane.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's over. We're done."
Oh, yeah,
and that's
okay,
when she
okay.
throws all the papers down,
Yep.
and douses them with
Burn
lighter fluid,
some,
starts
right?
burning
Okay,
them.
yeah.
And Cancer Flare's like, "You're out of control." I'm not going to let you murder all these people and get away with this. So he starts opening everything. He's just like, let all the crazy torture victims out.
Yeah, he's like, a killing is one thing, but you lighting stuff on fire is just the end of
Unacceptable.
this.
So he casually strolls
it.
through the hellhole,
very
casually
casually,
opening.
very casually.
And
But
like
you know what?
coaxing them out, like, come on,
But he
come on,
doesn't.
it's okay.
But when he's opening like the first few, it's not like anyone's pouring out. He just opens them. He's like, well, they'll eventually just.
He
come
might
out.
as well have
Yeah.
been whistling through the
Yeah,
scene. 'Cause
yeah.
just like,
Well,
wow,
that's
that's
so
another
casual.
day.
Dr. Vader follows him, grabs like a piece of glass out of a broken window, and stabs him in the throat. But when he does it, when she does that, that's when all the other ones come out of their rooms and start like pawing at her.
And then she thinks she's gonna get away. Then
Then
the
a
door closes.
and then there's the syringe
Yeah.
gets
So-
loaded
and-
with the bullshit.
So
And
they
one of
hold
the-
her down and they put it in her
and they
neck.
put it in her
Susan
head.
puts it in her neck.
Right.
Through the.
No, it's not Susan.
It's just another inmate.
It's another inmate. It's one of
Oh.
the torture victims.
Yeah.
Because before that happens,
Oh.
sexy Dr. Man runs in, puts the fire out, and
Yes,
grabs
and they embrace.
Susan.
Okay,
And- yeah.
all right. But meanwhile,
whoa!
who is Silky fighting with when he gets killed?
He
Dr. McAvoy.
He's
right?
fighting with McAvoy?
No, he strangles McAvoy to death, then goes after them, and then that's when there's
Oh, the axe.
Right,
there's
that's what I'm
the weird,
talking about.
Well, yeah, that's when there's the weird. Everybody's looking for Susan in the
Basement.
in the like boiler room area.
And he gets down on top of her, and then the other inmate with an axe just strolls out of the awesome shot. Remember the
Well, it's sexy
Yeah, that
Dr.
was
Man and
good.
him getting a fight, and he gets
Sex-
like knocked out or something.
right, and but he gets knocked out, but he's like gonna I'm gonna fucking like murder. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, he's on top
he's
of
on
him
top of him, and then a woman comes out of the shadows, pretty much.
with an axe, and one of the
He
inmates.
takes right in his
Or-
back.
Patients, torture victims,
Whatever. Dude.
whatever.
It doesn't matter. And
Uh,
he's dead, axe
he's
in the
dead.
back. Sexy Dr. Man is alive. McAvoy's dead.
McAvoy's dead.
Vader is lobotomized.
Because they run into her again,
And she's like-
all like,
And they get scared for a second, and then she's like,
Yeah.
"Duh, duh," you know, yeah. And
But
then
they're
And
outside at
that's
this
the
point.
end. And that's the end. Yeah, they get outside.
They get outside. Finally,
People
they're
run
outside.
And then what happens? All the employees come out and finally
Start
are like,
being
oh,
we acknowledge the hellhole's
something's-
existence, and we're gonna go help all these people.
it's insane
fleeing
that
it.
no one else that just works there. It's not like you're in a cult.
No,
You just work there.
like we said,
So-
everybody's spies.
The
What a
ending
horrible
is
ending.
It's a terrible ending.
It's really bad. It just kind of goes.
Yeah.
Papers don't matter.
I guess she's fine.
And they could have just. It makes you think too if they just got outside at
Did
any
she
time, they
remember
could have just got
everything
away.
about her life after that?
She just remembered that he killed her mom, and that was it.
Yeah, was that? Would she remember
Assumedly,
anything
she would
else?
remember more later. But you know what I mean? Like at any point, any of them
What a
could
limp
have
dick
just
of a movie. It was awful.
got outside and left.
It wasn't even. Well,
Wow.
I'm depressed.
we were watching it. I was like, this doesn't really make sense. But having to try to explain what happened is just like, huh?
I don't know. I mean,
No one knew what anything was at any point ever.
if
No one ever talked about specifics of anything.
the only
Which is
reason,
kind of beautifully like mirrored in the doctors trying stuff. You know what I mean? They're just like, I tried 5 cc's of this. I think it's gonna work real good. And then
It's like,
the woman dies.
Aren't you a doctor?
And you're like, wait, what? How did you decide to try that? What else have you like? What are you doing down here? I found this bucket of shit and I put in the syringe. We can try that. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing? No one knows what they're doing.
Not to mention,
It's like Idiocracy.
Yeah.
This is like Ilsa of the SS
Seven,
whatever
right.
shit if it was in Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Because nobody could probably do anything.
The only thing this movie was really missing was Nazis.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
she,
that actually would have tied it
if
together.
Vader was like
she
a
had been
secret
a Nazi,
former Nazi
yeah,
who was like into Dr. Mengele
right.
or something, you know what I mean?
And they were
That's the
doing,
second
yeah, they
time
were
I said
doing.
Dr. Mengele.
Well, I mean, yeah, if they were doing research for like some sort of super soldier or
And she could have
superhuman,
been actually Dr. Vader from Rock'n'Roll High School forever, and it would have been fine.
yeah,
Just give
Yeah,
her a
she pretty
fucking
much was the
robot
same
claw.
Jesus.
That's what this movie was missing is a
Oh.
robot
so
claw.
thin, so
Very
thin the
thin.
whole
Very
time.
thin, very thin and tall.
it's like if you're nostalgic for this period of movies, this is
You're wrong.
well, no, you're wrong, but
Don't
I
watch
love
this
incredibly
movie.
slow
it's
movies.
so
where...
slow and stupid, and man,
The boobs seriously aren't even worth it. It's like they
I thought the
didn't.
boobs
There's a lot
were
of
fine.
bush.
They're fine, but I'm just saying you have to just
Oh,
slog through the rest of this in
Anyone
order
who's-
to see a couple
Oh,
boobs,
yeah.
a couple 80s boobs, and some bush.
there
Give me
was
a break.
there was a dude. I'm not even kidding. That used to come in. I used to manage a video store, and he used to come in every Friday. And he remember Mr. Skin.
Yeah.
Well, before like the internet, and it was like 2006, right? Before the internet was
existed.
The internet existed.
Yeah.
No, it existed, but before.
No, Al Gore invented it in 2009. We all
No, what I
know
meant, I
it.
should have said before like smartphones.
Okay.
He had like 3 or 4 of those Mr. Skin books. He'd come in, and they all had bookmarks on them, and he would spend hours in the store looking for movies exactly like this. Very much the same thing. Prison movies with women is all like titty, torture, porn, 80s, stuff like that. And he would rent stacks of these fucking things. And this would be a perfect movie. I could see that. If this dude didn't rent this movie, I'd be ashamed.
There's no good sex in it though. It's mostly just writhing bodies. And
One time I asked him, I was like, "What, dude?" I was like, we have porn, right? Because we had a huge porn room, and he was like, "No, I want classy women." That's what he said to me.
Woo! You know what I want to point out?
Isn't that weird?
the fight,
weird.
the fight in the shower scene where like the one woman was like, "Get off my property," when the other girl was they're all nameless women just trying to fuck each other. But like the woman who was like, "That's my property."
Black underwear said the
They
word
was
underwear.
about to have like the only like actual cat fight in the movie, and like that woman looked weird. Did she not? She looks super weird.
She did not. She was a little bit.
It wasn't sexy, is what I'm saying. Like the way you're talking about the movie.
No, I actually
like-
enjoyed that part because it wasn't.
It wasn't sexy. People.
Yeah, it was just like these women happen to be topless while they're fighting each other, but not for any sexy. Like it
Yeah.
was
It
not
wasn't-
sexy.
it wasn't
They were
sexy
like
at
elbowing
all.
each other in the face. It wasn't like a cat fight.
It wasn't like nah with your
Yeah,
hands.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It wasn't what you would
It was
expect
like-
from a movie where you just saw a shower full of women.
It was
rubbing
like the
themselves.
scene from
fist punching.
Eastern Promises scene where
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen's just limp penis is just flopping around. It was like that, but women, which
It was punching.
empowering
Real
for me.
punching.
It's real punching.
It wasn't slapping and like, oh, how you broke my nail. It was like, I'm gonna slug
no, they were
the fuck
yeah,
out of you.
it was brutal.
And then a nurse comes in and they beat up her. It's like,
Right before we were like, wouldn't it be great if they beat the nurse up and then they punched
totally
the nurse
beat
in
the
the
nurse
face?
up.
Beat the fuck out of her.
All right, so it had its
there were
gems.
moments.
There were
I
moments.
don't know if I'd recommend watching this.
Absolutely not.
No.
Watch
I
it
would
if you're gonna
recommend
watch
maybe
it and it's not to
fast-forwarding
listen
it.
to this show,
Yeah.
don't
Just-
do that.
Just watch a scene with with Silk in it. Just to see Silk. And
You mean Andrew Dice Clay?
yeah, just
You watch
proto
that.
Andrew Dice Clay and just be confused about how he even exists. This doesn't make sense.
Well,
Do not recommend.
I have
Don't.
no clue if this is. I'm gonna try to find it on YouTube, but we watched this on VHS,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no clue. You know what?
I hope it's not.
I bet it has a following and shit. You never know about these movies, man.
Man, I really hope not. This is not good enough.
It's not. It's.
I
Pretty,
mean, it's better than like what I said. I said before we started this, I was like, this is gonna be Gore Girls, and it isn't. It's not that bad.
Gorger Girls is pretty bad.
Like that's insufferable. It's
Yeah.
just like.
I mean,
never
at
wanna
least
sit
Rave
through that again.
Thunderdome had like something,
Yeah, no, it was. They had cool costumes and the
and
neon
explosions
signs.
and weirdness.
It had set design and like it was crazy.
That I
and-
could see that being a cult film.
They blew
but
up a
this
helicopter.
Just,
That was vile though. This wasn't vile. This was just like doesn't make any
just
sense.
needs to get put in the
This just made
annals.
so little sense.
the annals,
The anals. It just made so little sense.
the butthole of the 80s.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Well, sorry, Jen.
Sorry, guys.
You sort of picked it though.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Everything in
you
that
made
bag
the
was
final
bad.
word. I wish we
Yeah.
watched Time Burst, but
We can still watch
we're
Time
gonna
Burst,
watch Time
but
Burst. This is a weird ass movie.
this was super weird. Okay.
Mm.
Protect your papers.
Yeah,
if
the
you learned
papers.
anything from any of this, is if you have papers that are important, lock them away.
Can I say mulligan now?
Yes! Now we're gonna watch Hector the dog to like calm down.
Cleanse the palate.
Cleanse the palate of all things.
Thank God.
Bye.
Bye.
You have just listened to Bonus Disc. Questions, comments, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts and guests of Bonus Disc are 100% valid because they sit high atop Judgment Mountain. So quit your whining.